Hello and welcome to our skincare series. And this video is about skincare packing and how to pack for your party so that you can feel prepared. I have a skincare packing party checklist and I have it divided into sections. Section one is to use the tray in the mesh bag. You get these from the company, the mesh bag. Of course, you want one per person, right? And in it, you will have the tray that the company sends you that has the mirror with it. Okay. You will have the insert. These are the little clear inserts. And I brought this because I wanted to show you. This looks like one, but when I really stick my fingernail in it, there's two there. They're very, very thin. And I want you to make sure you only use one per person so you don't go through them too fast. So make sure that when you put that in there, that it is only one. Now, what I like to do is set up the tray into the mesh bag ahead of time so that I don't forget something because I do things according to mistakes I've made in the past, which is getting to the party, having the tray, and I didn't have the plastic insert that I didn't have this plastic insert, and then I ended up having to use paper plates. Okay. The other thing that I have done is there's a bunch of different ones and I can find out if you want something like this. This is a little insert that I like to set in the bottom first that just stays in there, and I put a new one of the clear plastic demo ones over top. And all it does is it has words of what to put in each little one of those little spaces. There's 8 spaces that are across here, the one big one and the 2 little ones. And so I have different ones that I use, and it just depends on what I'm doing. Um, and so if I'm doing a regular skincare party, then I can just set it up like this. Okay. Is it necessary to have the other piece in there? No, but you definitely want the disposal one because you're going to throw that away when you're done. No, you do not wash them. You just throw them away. I just saw that there's like a light thing on the top of my head. Okay, so your mirror, of course, fits in. So what I do is I put the insert in there, set the mirror back on, and then I'm going to put it back in my mesh bag. But what I have on this sheet is that the tray, the mirror, the insert for the instructions are there. Then I also include cotton round. You can do 1 or 2 depending on what you're doing. In a normal skincare class, I don't have them take all their eye makeup off, so they don't need it for that. But if you want them to try micellar water, for instance, or you want them to try something that you have to put on a cotton, 100% cotton, not cotton like cotton balls, I like these, the flat ones. They're either round or square and they're flat, 100% cotton. They're so much easier to work with when you're working with them. So that goes in there. An ink pen goes in. I always have an ink pen in my case so that they can write with things. If you're going to use, the company has these little things and there's wipe off markers that you can write their name on both the front and the back. Now you go, why do I do that? Number one is because when I'm walking around the table, I can see my name sitting on my tray and I know that's for me. And then you have her set it behind the tray and her name's in the back. So if you're walking around the table, you won't forget her name. And it's just a way to help you see them no matter what angle you at, you can see their name. Okay. So you can put that in there. And then you can also put in a mascara wand and what's called a doe foot applicator. This is what they can apply lip gloss with. So if we have little samples of lip gloss, she would take it and put it in there and then put it on. And then the mascara wand, you put it in the mascara one time, you twirl it around really good and tell her, I cannot reinsert this into the mascara, so try to get some from both eyes. So if you want to add a little mascara at the end, then you include this. If you're not going to add mascara, then you don't need to include. This is just the little mascara wand that we can get right on section 2. These are doe foot applicators. Again, we can get those on section 2. I put those right in the bag so that when I get there, I have what I need. So she's got all of her stuff right inside. And if you're using the cotton squares, and you're using these little things, make sure that the cotton's on one side of the tray and the other on the other so that they don't get hooked into the cotton and get where you can't use them. Okay. Then you can just zip them up and see when I'm done with the party, which I'm going to talk later in another video. When I'm done with the party, you redo these, clean the mirrors, put it all back together, stick it in your bag, and you, when you are going to your party or packing for your party, you just take however many you need. For, if you got 4 people, 6 people, whatever you have coming, then you take it. So that's all put together and all simple and neat and tidy. So when I get to the party, I can just unzip this in front of, on the tray and get it done. Okay, so that's the one thing. The other thing that the next thing says additional items for the table. So this is the tray all put together that I need. That's in my, it's going to be in my packing bag. The next thing that I'm going to do is my placemat. Now I have a two-sided placemat that you will receive this too. This is my placemat that I do my closing. This is the placemat that they set up. So this is what they see. This part of it here is laying like this on the table. The tray is then set up on top of it. I take it out of the bag and set it all up for them. And then that sets on top of the placemat. So when they're sitting there and while we're doing I don't want them seeing prices while I'm doing the presentation. I only want them to see my information. And this is, I'm going to show you how to go through all of this, but for right now, you set this on the table, you take everything out of this and set it on top and make it look pretty for them. And then what I do is, remember that magical question was what was their favorite color? So this favorite color headband can then go around the mirror. And so not only is their name by their tray, but their favorite color headband is by their tray. And then that's what they get to take home as their free gift. That's their free gift for the evening. Okay. So I also then want my flip chart. I also want to have the profile card. Oh, that's what I forgot to set by me. I was going to set a profile card by me. And let me just grab it. Okay, so the profile card is the beauty profile card that you get off of section 2 as well. And their name is at the top of that. And then they're going to complete the rest of that. That sits next to their tray. And then I have an order of application sheet that I have made up for them to have that I'm going to put next to their tray. We used to have something different. We used to have a beauty book and we don't have that anymore. So I have right on In Touch, we can get an order application sheet that I'm going to put next to their tray, because when I start going through my actual skincare class, you'll see how I incorporate that into the presentation. And that will be their cheat sheet that they get to take home. So all of those things are sitting that I'm going to have with me in my bag when I take it, but all that stuff doesn't fit in this. So those are the extra things. So I've got the flip chart, the placemat, the customer profile, which is this, and which is this right here, and an order of application sheet. That's going to be next to their tray with their ink pen. And then by the sink, I will put disposable washcloths. You see this? This is a Mary Kay disposable washcloth. They open up really big. They're folded into fours, and I have the hardest time getting them open, but they're in fours. So what you're going to do is you're going to have at least one, maybe two of these full for each person. I use one for their cleanser, and then what we do, like charcoal mask or microdermabrasion or something, they could use a separate one. Now, if they do micro, they probably can use the same one, but if they do the charcoal mask, I have to have a separate one for that. And then I take and I cut into fours. So here, I think I can get it open. I think I can see the spot. So you can see I can cut it into fours. This little square here is enough that when I give them their lip mask, they can just use that little square to wipe their lip mask off. So I've got it on here, disposable washcloths, 2 for each person, 1 for cleanse and 1 for mask, or micro, and then a fourth one of these cut into four, if does four people. So one little piece for each person to remove their lip scrub. So that is next to the sink. And so additional items, I say for the table or by the sink. So, and then what we do is, we have a closing area set up. The other part that you're going to set up when you get there that you're going to have packed is to do your closing. And so when you do the closing, you want to have your thank you gift that you made up for each person. You're going to have your little thank you gift that these little thank you gifts, these do not go on the table. The free headband is going to go on the table. This little thank you gift with each person's name, that is going to go by where you do your clothes. I normally like to do the clothes by like the couch or in the living room or somewhere away from the table. I prefer away from the table so I can talk individually with each person. I can find out what each person want, and we will not be discussing their financial purchase in front of other people. That makes people uncomfortable. And so in the closing area set up is their thank you gift. I have my date book, as I talked about. I have a hostess packet. And what I have in the hostess packet is more of those party sheets. I can have in a little folder with it with some lookbooks and some receipts and that they can get outside orders with, which I'll talk about later. And so there's a hostess packet set up. There will be a whole training on hostess packets. I have a calculator. I have a money bag. I have something I can keep my money in, and it's advisable to keep a little cash in there. And then I have all my sales tickets, and that's what we write the person's order up on. Okay, I have the sales ticket. So it's highly recommended that you set that up with the hostess when you get there 30 minutes early to set up so you can set your table up. And one more mention about setting the table up. That's the other reason I have these my placemat in a plastic some kind of a plastic container. I don't laminate them because we make changes, the company make changes, whatever. It doesn't pay to laminate them. Just have things that you can pull in and out. Okay. And so one of the things that this helps protect the table because when the tray sits on top of it, I have their wet washcloth or whatever. If it's if there's a problem, the table's covered, and then you protect your table. So that's another reason why that's important. Um, and so at the table, and I will do when I do my video where I'm doing my actual presentation of my skincare class, you'll be able to see how I set the table up. But what is not next to the tray, not next to the tray are lookbooks. No, do not put lookbooks or receipts. I don't put lookbooks and receipts by their table, by their tray. I want just the stuff that I want them to see, which is the placemat, my appointments, the skincare profile, and the order of application sheet that they're going to take home. That's what I want next to their tray. I don't want them looking at prices. I don't want them flipping through books. I don't want them to have anything extra there that's going to distract them because some people get distracted easily. So we don't want that. Okay, then the other thing that you need to pack that is on here is the travel roll-up bag. Okay, now the travel roll-up bag has the 4 pockets in it, as you know. It opens up. You can hang it if you want, but it has pockets in it. Okay, so what I've done for you is to tell you what to put in each pocket. Okay, so you can tell what to put in each pocket, and it's the products that you're going to demo, so you'll know exactly what to take with you. So if you follow the checklist and have it in your bag, you'll have everything that you're going to demo that we highly recommend that you demo, and you'll have it all with you. There's also some optional items to consider bringing with that you can that are on there as well. One of the optional things, because on my placemat, when I do my specials, I offer a way for them to get the travel bag or the Pro Palette, which mine has the eyes put on it already because these are my eyeshadows, but they're usually just plain black on the top, but this is our Pro Palette that you can show them. It's all magnetic, so the things that are in it don't fall out. And so this is the Pro Palette, and you can show them what that looks like. So if you have one of these, you can take it with you, and you can show them what it's about. I prefer to do that because if they're going to get something free and I want them to buy the stuff in order to get it free, then I want to show it to them. All right, so packing for the class. One, Kristen Sharp, National Sales Director Kristen Sharp, gave us an idea to get a tote, a bigger tote. And in that tote, you have all the things that you need. You have the number of trays that you need. Remember, already filled up. The bag is already filled up. You can put your travel roll-up bag. You can put all of your placemats, anything that you're taking with you, any additional items, all your little thank you gifts, your flip chart. So everything you're taking with you can be organized in a tote, and you can just bring the tote in. Now, as you know, the company, when you purchase the full starter kit, the full the $90 part of the starter kit, then you get this beautiful bag. Most of what you take with you will fit in that bag. And then you can just have your travel roll-up bag separate because that's your demo product. But pretty much everything else, if you organize it like this, will all fit into that bag, which again, I'll show you. I can show you in another video because I don't want this one to go too long. So this is so awesome because it's got the entire checklist of what you need. If there's something else you want to take and you don't want to forget it, you can just handwrite it on. Put it on the back, either way, but you can handwrite it on. And then this just gives you a checklist to always follow so that when you're getting ready, you also don't have to be flustered or anxious or what am I forgetting? Just follow your checklist and you'll have what you need. And again, if you do it a couple times and you find out that there's something else that you like to take with you, then just be sure to put it on the checklist. And then you always have that. I find that I feel better when I can set things up ahead of time, when I can prepare ahead of time. So in other words, if I have a party tonight, I will have probably packed it last night or this morning, not at 5 o'clock when I need to leave at for the party at 5:30. That will make you crazy. And so the one thing that I have found is that always preparing and being prepared and planning ahead of time can make a huge difference of getting there and feeling excited to be there and not frazzled. Okay. Because the one thing you want to do is when you walk into someone's home, if you're going to their home, you want to walk in not frazzled, excited. And remember that when you walk into a party, this is Mary Kay, the woman talking right now. I can hear her voice, is that it doesn't matter when you are on the way to that party, or if it's at your home, you got to take a couple minutes beforehand and this is what she used to tell us. I don't care if the dog just died, the kids are all sick, and your husband just left you. When you walk into that party and that hostess says, "Hi, how are you tonight?" You say, "I'm great. How are you?" And you completely leave behind everything that's been bad going on and you just focus on her. And when you do that, and when you've prepared and you feel calm, when you walk into that party, it will be so much fun. If it's at your house, then the night before or the morning of, if it's available to you, you can set the party up. If not, just still try to set it up at least 30 minutes ahead of time. So again, you feel comfortable and relaxed and it's set. I think that so many times when I have either forgotten something or, whatever, I'm not in the right frame of mind when I go in, it's usually because I haven't prepped well enough. It's usually because I've thought of like, oh, I can just do it real quick and I can pack everything at 5 o'clock, it'll be fine. And then I have to leave at 5:30 and I'm running around crazy. And that'll be the day that I get in the car and I forgot to fill the car up with gas and I'm almost out of gas. I mean, it seems that when I'm frazzled like that and I don't pre-plan, that's when things multiply that go wrong. So just to give yourself the extra time and the extra thought is to use your checklist to pack your party. Get it packed ahead of time and you will feel so comfortable. Talk to you soon.